hockey is really just a medium for us to connect with the community. Hockey is obviously what our team is, but it's just a way for us to connect with people. That's what, like, the way I feel personally about sports and entertainment in general, and the way our staff feels too, is a way to connect with people and to make special moments for the community. So that's something we've done really since day one.
Welcome to Coastal with Kathryn. Join us as we discover interesting stories that will touch all of our senses. The people and the fellowship amongst friends, culture, history, culinary delights, artists and musicians, sports, which all make up the heart and soul of the community. Our mission is to feature the people, places, and things that are found along the coastal waterways from all around the world. Wherever the ocean meets the shore, we'll be there. Let us explore together, only if it's for a little while. And welcome to Coastal with Kathryn. Where am I? I'm in Savannah, Georgia, and what building I'm in? I'm in the Enmark Arena, and we're going to visit the Ghost Pirates, which is the ice hockey team here. I'm excited to have the opportunity to meet the front office, the players, the coaches, the people behind the scenes, from the athletic trainer to everybody else in between. And I think it's going to be really a fun show because, I don't know, I've never really spent time learning about the day in the life of what it owned a hockey team. So I think we're going to have a great time. And look at this beautiful arena. It's just stunning. It's a happy place. I understand Savannah is excited to have the team here, and there's a lot of love to be given. So I'm going to go talk to them. Let's go and learn what it takes to own a hockey team. And now we're inside the arena. I am with Cristiano, who's the Director of Broadcasting and Communication. This is a gentleman who is in the now, who knows everything we need to know. So I thought it'd be fun to start off the show speaking to you.
Yes, I'm very honored.
We're at the Enmark Arena here in Savannah. This is the Ghost Pirates. It's a new hockey team, 3 years old here. And let's pick up from there.
Sure, yes. You have three major, I'd say, classifications of professional hockey in North America. You have the ECHL, which is where the Ghost Pirates find themselves. You have the American Hockey League, and you have the National Hockey League. And the cool part about Savannah is our affiliation with Charlotte, North Carolina in the AHL, and the Florida Panthers, who just won the Stanley Cup in the NHL. So basically, Savannah acts as a feeder team for players in Charlotte, players in Florida. So we take those contracts in, and you have players here that are just Ghost Pirates that are just getting paid by us, or you have guys that are in Charlotte and Florida that have the opportunity to go to the NHL like everybody who suits up in Savannah. So a pretty long season, October through April, 72 games, 36 right here in this building, 36 on the road. It's one of the best places to be, and we're very fortunate to be here.
Well, you're very excited. You can just see how you just kind of glows up. But what's special about you, you do game-by-game plays, so you know the players intimately as far as we were looking at some of the players before we went on camera, and he knows exactly who everybody is by the way they skate and which way they have the hockey puck, and the hockey stick and things like that. Tell me what brought everybody here. I mean, what's the story?
Yeah, I think just really the interest for something that connects the Savannah community to its residents in the nature of sport, and just ice hockey in the South doesn't really go hand in hand. There used to be an NHL team in Atlanta. There is an ECHL team in Atlanta. There's an ECHL team Jacksonville, Charleston, but nothing right here in the hostess city, which is just so phenomenal for us to find ourselves in this spot, because the fans here gravitated so much to us. They welcomed us in with open arms, and they just needed something to rally around. And what better way to spend a night of family entertainment at a Ghost Pirates hockey game? And here we are 3 years later.
Well, you're the owner, Mr. Kaufman,
yeah,
and he had a vision to start here. I mean, he's building his hockey empire, correct? I mean, he's been buying more teams or starting a new team as well, right? Where's the new team going to go?
Yeah, the new team's going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina, starting next season in the 25-26 year, but a new one in Lake Tahoe, Nevada that we also manage. Duluth, Georgia, we help out with. Jacksonville, we own. So it's a little bit of that monopoly, which is interesting because these teams do face each other in this league, and the hockey players in there are not friends with the guys on Jacksonville once the puck drops. So it's a very unique situation in what we have.
That is very unique.
Yeah.
And so the day in the life, I mean, what can you tell us, because you're so articulate about this and you're so passionate?
Yeah, no, it's just a team effort, Kathryn, really. From people, whether it's the equipment manager to a box office salesman to sponsorships and corporate partnerships team. Everybody works together in a cohesive unit to provide the best fan engagement and entertainment that we can in this city. And you look around this building, There's Ghost Pirates memorabilia, there's local businesses tied in, and it's really just that family environment that we really love to have from the front office out to the players on the ice. And it's just the most unique experience in this city that you really can find. The Savannah Bananas have done such a great job in elevating this city, elevating its potential, and we've just fed off of that. And again, we're just really excited to be here. Of course, the hostess city, that's what it is. It's Southern hospitality, and we've been very fortunate to sell out all but 4 or 5 games in our history. We've hosted a ECHL All-Star Classic that was televised nationally on the NHL Network. So to be able to showcase this city and the people within it, they're the only reason why we're here.
Well, the Enmark Arena is very beautiful too, and this is unique for being in this conference as well, because some of the AHL teams, they don't play in such a pretty building, I don't think.
No, it's a great point that you bring up with the American Hockey League too, because we travel 36 games a year to all these different types of cities, and Orlando, Jacksonville, Charleston, we're very fortunate to be in a very nice division, but there are other buildings in this league that are not as well kept, not as modern as Enmark Arena, and we have so many teams that come in here as visitors and say, oh my gosh, I'd love to play for Savannah if I ever got the opportunity to. So we have several players that have played in this league as visitors, been booed by our fans, and now they are here being cheered by our fans as members of the Ghost Pirates. So again, just an experience that you can't compare anywhere else.
The love keeps giving, doesn't it?
Of course.
Along with your role, so you do game-by-game plays, and what else was you?
Yeah, so like writing articles, doing feature stories, just kind of like you guys are doing here, which again, we're very fortunate to have you tell our stories, but just being the architect of those moments, whether it's a big win on the road, we're writing those articles, we're out in the community with our players, because it's not just the diehard hockey fans that we are appealing to. It's really anyone that is in this community nearby that wants to connect with us. We love just treating our fans the best that we can, and the players do an excellent job on the ice providing the entertainment, and it's just really something that we're in.
I know you're very community-based. I mean, you are outreaching to the little kids, and so many times around here, kids are used to football and baseball bats. But put a little ice hockey stick in his hand and see what happens. And girls, my niece is a hockey player. Oh my goodness, she plays on a boys team, and I would not want to get in her way. She's got long red hair with a ponytail, But it's a great sport. Again, all sports are, and it's a team sport, and it takes a lot of effort. And the buzz is gone up far. I'm up on Hilton Head Island, and everybody's saying you got to go down and see them. So here we are. All right, we're on to the next. And I want to introduce you to John Thompson, who's the vice president here of the Ghost Pirates ice hockey team. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
But I'm excited to talk to you because there's just so much to start with, beginning of how this all happened. You're 3 years old, the team.
Yes.
But it's taken a little time before that we started, right? So bring us to speed because you're such a great story.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many moving pieces in sports and everything. With this team in particular, it started with a few people, like a lot of people and a lot of our fans who just were obsessed and in love with sports and entertainment and wanting to, build a team from the ground up. And when that happened, there's always, we had a team in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Icemen. We heard about an opportunity in Savannah, and we, did some research into it. And the more we learned about, Savannah as a community and as a city, I think everyone just fell in love with it almost instantly. Still in love with it. Even before we even moved here, we knew this was something special here. So once we had that opportunity, we, went for it as soon as we could, and made the announcement that we would be bringing hockey to a place where people didn't have hockey. It was it was met with a lot of different, yeah, exactly. It's like hockey in the South. There's no ice here. The sun is beating down on people here. But it turns out it's actually a nice little refresher in the summer sometimes too. To have some ice, but
it really is. The owner is Andy Kaufman. In fact, you own a couple that compete against each other, right?
Yeah. There's some friendly sibling rivalries in our league. Andy Kaufman, who's our owner, he owns both us, the Jacksonville Icemen, the Charlotte Checkers, who's also our affiliate.
That's your AHL?
AHL affiliate, the Gastonia Baseball Club, or Gastonia Ghost Peppers, as they are now renamed, which is in North Carolina as well. And then we actually have a new team starting in Greensboro, North Carolina next year as well. And then we own and operate 3 other teams in the league. So there's just you run out of fingers pretty quick when you're counting it.
I think so.
But that all happened with the span of 3 years. So that's how fast we're growing, how fast we want to, put a footprint in the South from a hockey and entertainment standpoint. Like it's been such a passion project for Andy. But then with myself, our front office staff here, we all are so invested in it too. From just not Savannah, but everything in this community and everything here. Just once you get under the surface of it, it's pretty hard not to fall in love with it, and how much you just connect with people and people get excited for it.
You feel the vibe, you feel the energy, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I think it's great. Oftentimes I think we have to evolve, and oftentimes we're all pocketed. This is a golf territory, this is a football territory, and it's kind of nice to say, look, we can do all these sports together. We have arenas that makes it all very practical. So I'm excited because you're 3 years in for now. The fan base has really grown. I mean, you almost have sold out most evenings.
Yeah, we've sold out every game except for 3 last season, and then every game but 1 the first season. So we're on streak to sell out every game this year. That's the plan. We're
now in a community. They're learning about ice hockey. They're liking it, but you're continuing to go to the different communities and reach with everybody loves athletes. They're just very fun people, and young kids can look up to girls and boys. There's a lot of great ice hockey female players out there too. So what do we do for that? What's your project, your program for that?
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, first and foremost for us is the community. It's what we do. Like, hockey is really just a medium for us to connect with the community. Hockey is obviously what our team is, but it's just a way for us to connect with people. That's what, the way I feel personally about sports and entertainment in general, and the way our staff feels too, is a way to connect with people and to make special moments for the community. So it's something we've done really since day one, and it was, what made it easier was that the minute we announced this team, the Savannah community embraced us with open arms, so much more than anybody even anticipated. They've been amazing. The response from people is outstanding, and just seeing magnets around town, flags, having people packing these stands. We know, I think each of us probably have a story when we were a kid watching somebody on TV for the first time, or being an athlete, out in at a school event or something, and having it leave a lasting impact. And we want to make sure we can provide that to everybody in this community and beyond too. There's just so much that if you really put the effort into it, that you can make an impact on people's lives.
I think that's wonderful, and that's what you have to do, because we're learning. Ice hockey is a new sport to us, but it's a great route. So you the leadership philosophy here. It starts from the top, it also goes down to the bottom, and there's a whole middle ground. I mean, what is your mantra?
Something that we're focusing on this year is to, I always say ABCs, but always be chasing. There's, that applies to so many different things, right? It's really, there's so much that we can make an impact on. Internally for me and for all of us, it's having each other's backs. No one can do anything by themselves. That's just
you cannot.
Not going to work.
I mean, there's a lot of community, and I think off camera, I've been talking to the various people here, and it goes up to Andy Kaufman.
No, you're right. We were speaking about it earlier. Andy Kaufman, who is our owner, is the top of the organization. But you would never think that. He comes down and he talks to everybody. He's instilled a culture from day one that everybody here is a family. We all have each other's backs. We all care about each other, and we care about the people that we're bringing in. Everybody here is one unit. And for me, I never have seen something like that on a business side either. We're growing a business, but with the intent to have this special element on the inside, from this core is built out with with the best of intentions.
I sense you want to have a team legacy. You really want to you're building a strong foundation to have a legacy. And before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the players. They're half Americans and half Canadians. And so when they look at teams, they can go to different teams, right, to play on. So how do you build a culture that says, hey, I'm your guy, I'm your team, I'm the one that you want to play for?
Well, the coaches are the biggest key, honestly. Having a coach who cares for the players and has a disciplined way to set things in place for winning and for enjoyment at the same time is key. But one thing is having an arena this nice. This helps in a lot of ways. But also having a way, we want to make sure that the players are taken care of. Players want to come where they know that they are, cared about and aren't taken advantage of. We want to make sure that they are, just as much as our front office, our fans. We're all literally one big family, and that without them, we can't get things done either. We need everybody on board at different times. So we do what we can to make sure they know that they are appreciated and they're a huge part of the team.
They're the entertainment.
Yeah, yep. Yep.
Well, John, I want to thank you so very much. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers up in the Hilton Head, Savannah, Bluffton, and up in Beaufort?
This is something that I'm incredibly passionate about as this team. Everybody here is very passionate about it, and we just want to share that with people. So, I mean, if you want to have a good time, this is hockey, but this is more than just hockey for us and for our team. We want to have the most highest level entertainment and share that with everybody. So come down here and join us.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go talk to the coaches next. Okay, thanks so much, John.
Of course, yeah. Thank you.
And I'd like to introduce you to Jared Stahl, who is the head coach here of the team. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
This is your first season as head coach here. You came in from the Charlotte team. And so, and being a Canadian, you grew up in Thunder Bay, Canada. If anybody doesn't know where that is, that's really far up.
Way up north. Yeah.
Way up north. And as a kid, you just played a lot of hockey.
Yeah, it's woven into the culture in Thunder Bay. It's right on the Minnesota border. There's snow half of the year. They have obviously the indoor rinks and everything that we played our minor hockey in, but if you're not there, you're outside skating. So I had a rink in my backyard growing up. So if I wasn't playing with an organized team, we'd be out there with my brothers playing out there.
And I'm going to tell you, it was also like 10 below zero too when you were out there pretty much.
Yeah, frostbite for sure would happen. Your toes would be frozen, your hands would be frozen, but it was all part of it.
So, I mean, what an interesting childhood. And then how did you move forward in your hockey career? I mean, you have to go play for leagues, or how does that work?
You're basically playing for your local team until I was drafted to a major junior hockey league when I was 15, and then I moved there right before my 16th birthday, which is about a 11-hour drive from home. Played there for 4 years.
Is this Canadian or stateside?
In Canada,
in
still
Canada?
Sudbury, Ontario, so same province, but still about halfway through it, so it's a big area. After those 4 years, then I turned professional and then went stateside.
Well, what position?
I was a forward, right wing.
So you like to make goals.
I didn't make very many. That's why I'm coaching now. That's the difference.
But you have the passion. You know, it's sometimes not that the best players are the best coaches, and I think that's very true. And as we look at history, I think that's a fair statement, right?
Yeah, I think it is fair. I mean, not always the case, but I think a part of it is you get a wider range of experiences when you're not the best player on the team, and you got to find a way to make an impact some other way instead of being the go-to guy all the time. So I think that's, as a coach, you can relate a lot to a lot more players, what they're going through just from your experience as a player, and because not that it's easy for the guys that are the best players on the team, but it's you have to go through probably a lot more ups and downs as a player when you're not the go-to guy, and that definitely suits you well when you're a coach.
And how many years have you been coaching now?
This will be year number 6 professionally, and I was at a hockey academy for a year, so it'll be 7 years coaching.
Has anything changed in the hockey world?
The specialty of the enforcer in a way has changed a little bit. It's still a big part of the game. I think it belongs in the game. I just there's not as much of just the trained fighter as much anymore.
I'm trying to decode what you're saying. So you want to be like, you don't want to be slammed against the boards, or we should have a little bit of that still, or
Absolutely. I think, but basically what I'm saying is fighting belongs in hockey.
Oh.
But there isn't the player as much anymore that is there just to do that.
Changes the game?
I think if you took out fighting, it would change the game for sure. I think it would actually be less safe.
Really? Can you tell me why? I mean,
hockey's interesting. It's got there's some underlying codes. So if there's players taking no liberties or not playing by the somewhat rules, there should be consequences in a way. If you take that away, guys can do whatever they wanted without any consequences. So that's, I think, a fair way to help the players feel safe in a weird way.
Let's talk about the roster, their teams. Okay, all the players that you have, but there's 24 players, I believe. How do they, when you're building a team, you look at their skill tests. I mean, tell me as a coach, what are you looking for as you look at this team that's skating around the hockey? What's the global look, and what's a little bit more of the details?
For me, we see what kind of person they are, talk to former coaches, former teammates, former equipment managers, former trainers that they've had, what kind of person they are. We're bringing good people first and foremost, and then that's where it starts. And then after that, yeah, skill set. For us, it's speed and skating was a big part of it. If you're very competitive was a big part of it, but it starts with being a good person.
Well, absolutely. And I think you feel the team is united, you have a unity amongst your teammates?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually been fairly impressed with that part of it. We're a very young group, so that can it could go a couple different directions as young rookies who've never played professional hockey before, getting a feel for that. But as overall, I think we're a pretty tight group for being early on in the season.
How is the community with you? How do you feel they are embracing it, and how do you feel in reciprocal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can embrace it anymore, if I'm being honest with you. I've been actually very impressed. The fan support has been amazing. Just the overall community feel. You walk around town and you see the flags, the signs, stuff like that. Like it's important to people here, which is what you want. So it's exciting.
Your strengths as a team are?
For us, it's early, but our strengths when we're connected as a group. So when everyone's on the same page on the ice, we're really hard to play against because we play with a lot of pace, a lot of speed. So that's through 3 games, we've made some steps in that direction, hoping the guys continue to buy in on that, because when we do, we're hard to play against.
This is a feeder team to the AHL, to Charlotte, correct? So do you bring players up and back and forth throughout the season, and sometimes does it feel a little bit chaotic when people are moving around, or are they just so good that the harmony is so there that it's not a problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's always chaotic, especially at this level. Your roster does change quite a bit, but the best part of the relationship we have with Charlotte and with the Florida Panthers is that harmony is very, very tight with our affiliates. So we're playing a very similar style, using a lot of the same language as our affiliates. So no matter what team they're going to, if they're coming from here and going to Charlotte, they're not surprised. If they're going from Charlotte down to here, they're not surprised. So that's the idea, and I think so far it's been working really well.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, Coach.
Thank you very much.
I'm now sitting with one of the players. This is Will Rydell. And Will, one thing we have in common, I just found out that my son and you went to the same prep school, Vermont Academy. Go Vermont Academy.
Go
we have to throw that out. But sitting down and talking to you, you love hockey.
Yep.
It's been a passion for a long time.
Yeah, it's been pretty much all hockey growing up. Obviously, when I went to Vermont, did a couple other sports, but for the most part, it's been hockey.
Did they play lacrosse?
I did play lacrosse.
That's what they do. I will take a side note is that most of the hockey players went on the lacrosse team because they needed the players.
That's it.
Unless you guys can check so well. All right, let's go back on. So then you went to Vermont Academy, and then you went into some of the junior leagues, correct? Tell me what it feels like. I mean, we just kind of know, but we don't know. I'd like to understand that story.
It's hard, and you have to be dedicated because it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of hard work. You have to want to do it. I think for me, playing and growing up, I wasn't sure that I was going to make it to pro or be a pro, and that wasn't really the goal. I was just loved playing, and as I kept kind of progressing and getting better and stuff like that, I thought maybe I had an opportunity to do it, and just kept working hard and eventually found my way here. So
last year you're in the AHL, right?
Yep.
So you're playing at Charlotte.
I was in Calgary.
Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh, Calgary.
Yeah, Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so now you're in Savannah. And we're doing a little reset button, but I'm sure you're not going to be here for long.
Yeah.
But here you are at this stage. What does it feel like? Working with the team and your 2 new team members. Tell us the day in the life, what it's like on the ice.
It's been fun. We have a really good group of guys. Pretty much we start every morning coming in, have some breakfast and stuff like that, and then get a workout in, get in and practice. And games are starting to ramp up here, so I know we have 4 games in the next 6 days. So it's going to be it's going to be a lot of focus on games and recovery and stuff like that because we had a little bit of travel. So that'll be kind of the focus for the next few days.
And when you're not on the ice, you do some community outreach as well?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
It's been good. This year we have doing a trick or treat at the hospital. So that should be a lot of fun. That'll be my first year doing it, so I'm excited to see what it's all about.
What time in your life did you say, this is what I really want to do? How old are you? Can you give me a memory that sort of stuck in your mind and said, hey, Mom, Dad, I really want to do this?
There was a time when I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school before I went to Vermont Academy, and I had to kind of make a choice, and I actually decided that I wanted to play lacrosse. That's what I wanted to do. And I didn't get the grades that I needed to play lacrosse in school, and hockey was a club sport, so I was doing it after school, and I was like, well, it looks like hockey is what I'm going to do, because I was still able to play hockey, luckily, and kind of turned things around and got better grades, and just once I kind of made that decision that hockey was going to be it, I just kind of put all my attention on it.
Well, I'm excited for you to be here at the Ghost Pirates. They're happy to have you, and I really wish you lots of success in your career and wherever it might take you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for chatting with me.
Yeah, thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce you to Maddie Talent, who is the Community Relations Coordinator here. What a fun job.
It is. Honestly, I love it. Just being able to make relationships, not only for myself, but for the team, to create an atmosphere for people to come and watch hockey is truly electric, because seeing them come out to a game, they don't know what they're getting into. And then after the game, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. Like, we're going to do this again. And they end up becoming season ticket holders, or they're in kids club. And I see them almost every game and at all the events. And it's truly amazing because they're always so happy and so excited to be a part of this. And we're happy that we can offer this to them.
So here you are loving your job. And your position is to outreach to the community. So how do you do that? What are some of the things and programs that you're working on?
So one of the big things that I work on is Kids Club. And so we outreach that to different schools, different after-school programs, because a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to be a season ticket holder to be in Kids Club. And so throughout the season we have different events, whether it's skating with the players, mini golf, whatever the case may be. And then through schools, I like to, reach out to different nonprofits like the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society, and helping them fundraise for the resources that they provide the community, because there's numerous nonprofits that I have spoken to that I've never heard of that do phenomenal things in the community, that help people who can't help themselves, advocate for people who may not want to advocate. And so being able to help them do that and help Savannah become better is something that I truly enjoy. It's very near and dear to my heart.
I can feel your passion for it, but one thing is, this is Savannah, and this is ice hockey.
Yeah.
So these are new things for a sport and a place that's learning about each other, because ice is just not a prevalent thing here. So reaching out and introducing the young kids to ice hockey, I mean.
Yeah, no, exactly. So one of the big things that we do, especially when we're trying to educate kids on hockey, is we do some Davy appearances at school. So we'll bring the mascot out, and then we'll have kids ask questions. So they don't ask Davy, they ask the handler. And so we're like, oh yeah, this is Davy Jones, he's a pirate. He's a ghost pirate. And they're like, oh, well, for what? And we're like, oh, a hockey team. And they're like, oh, what's hockey? So we get to educate them on hockey, and they're just mesmerized by Davy. So we're already creating that relationship of excitement and enthusiasm. And then once they come to the games, they're hooked.
And as you can see, there's a sea of green. And everybody loves a good pirate, right?
Oh, most of them. We have people that dress up as pirates to the game sometimes.
Oh, no, that's so
amazing.
Funny. So what is a challenge for you? I mean, we have all the happy stuff, but as you get into it, what would be a challenge for you?
A challenge for me would definitely be time management. I have to understand that I can't do everything in one day. So planning my days accordingly, making sure that I'm very coordinated and organized. I usually try to plan stuff 2 weeks ahead. So when we have events, I'm making sure I'm in contact with them 2 weeks before, a week before, and then that way I have all information day of, so that way nobody's missing anything. We're both on the same wavelength of communication, so time management is big.
So this is October. This is the kickoff of the season. You have 6 months ahead of you. So could you give us some ideas of programs that are upcoming in the next months ahead? Obviously the holidays are coming up, New Year's coming up. Do you have anything that you can share with us?
So our games usually around Christmas and New Year's are very big. We have the whole arena decorated, and we always try to do something nice for the kids.
Well, Maddie, it's been delightful to talk to you. Nice to meet
so nice
you,
to
and
meet you
congratulations on this job that you love to do.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to keep going because there's a lot to discover here at the arena.
Yes, absolutely.
And to keep a team going and functioning all the time, it comes down to the equipment manager. This is Adam Dexter. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you as well.
This is his office, and then we'll take a little tour in a second, but you keep the team functioning. You keep them on ice, you keep them in their uniforms, and the day in the life. So tell me how it is for you.
Normal practice day, I get here about 5:30 in the morning. I'll come in, I'll turn the fans off, which are drying the gear from the night before, and then usually do some work on my computer. I have orders to do, or tracking some packages that might be coming in for us. A lot of time spent in front of this machine here. It's a skate sharpener.
This is here, look at this. This is the skate sharpener. For anybody who's not seen a skate in action, this is what it looks like. It's amazing. How often do the players have their skates sharpened?
So we have two, right now we have 2 sets. I'm working on a 3rd set for everybody, but they have this set that's in their skates, and then we have a 2nd set of steel here, which stays in these bags. We have a green bag and a black bag. So usually what I do is after every morning, or before every morning skate, I will go through and swap out their steel. So these are freshly sharpened. Then I'll come back and I will sharpen their other set of steel. And we just keep a rotation going all the time. And that way, like, it doesn't throw off their profile. It doesn't, you don't have one set that's going to be higher or lower than the other. They basically stay the same.
Or different blades for different people type of thing. Is there a specific?
Yes and no. There's different blades for different skates. So a CCM skate generally is going to have a different blade on it than a Bauer skate is. But it's really easy to swap these out. So I just use a little tool here. There's a trigger on here. You just push that in.
Wow.
And that steel pops out. And then you just put a new piece in.
Are these disposables, or do you have?
No.
You sharpen them?
So usually, like, if we have 3 sets of blades, that should last most guys throughout the season. But when you talk about, is there different blades for different people? Everyone has different preferences.
Yeah.
So these blades, when they're sharpened, it creates a hollow in the middle.
Right.
And so it's almost kind of like a concave shape.
Yeah.
And there's 2 distinct edges. So trying to make sure that those edges are level.
Right.
And then there's different depths. So I keep a chart of everyone's different depths that we sharpen at.
Oh my gosh, it's so specific. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 24 people you have to
So all these guys here we do before morning skate. Number 34 I do after morning skate.
Right. So just to see the chart, I mean, it's.
But there's different aspects with sharpening. This is a profiling machine, so we can change, the balance point that they're on, how much blade they have touching the ice, where the blade is touching the ice. And everyone has a different preference on things.
It really is custom made for sure. I mean, it's amazing. If we go over here, Maria, let's move around. Up top, you can see the helmets. They're very important for everybody, correct? And look, let's show them over here. Adam, they're all the beautiful jerseys.
So that was a specialty set that we just wore on Sunday. And then we have our home whites and our road darks. These are all of our practice jerseys. So we have a couple different sets of these. One set always stays packed up, which is our road set.
Right.
And then we have another set of practice socks that stay packed up for the road.
Let's
black
come over here.
jerseys
Let's show
are-
you what the road kit looks like. We walked in, but this is, you packed them up, right? This is what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
so we have
Everybody
some
has
of our
their own-
road bags are here.
Yeah.
And then we have some of the other ones out in the back hallway.
Well, you know, they can't function without you.
Well, I guess that's true.
And I understand you just moved here from Alaska.
I did, yes.
Change.
Yeah, it is a big change. Don't mind not having to shovel off my truck in the wintertime though, so being in the warm weather isn't too bad.
He gets the winter off, right? You're recruited, so we know you are needed in this community and needed for the team. So I thank you, Adam, for joining
Yeah,
us.
no problem. Thank
And-
you.
And what keeps the players on the ice rink is also they have to have great fitness training. And I want to introduce you to Emmett Ackerman, who is the guru of the fitness squad here.
Yes.
How do you train a hockey player?
So we train either before or after practice, and then even sometimes after the game. Some people might be like, oh, why are they training after a game? But it's, their central nervous system's firing. They've been going 100%. They're warm. They're ready to go. So we do a lot of lifts after the game as well.
Aren't they tired?
Yes, they're a little tired, but it's short and sweet, but it gets the job done.
So Emmett, when you're training the athletes, let's talk about anaerobic and aerobic, and what does that mean in the athletic world?
Yeah, so for a hockey player, their demands on the ice require both energy systems to be strong. So we, train both of them in here and try to keep them strong and healthy throughout
Well, can
the
you break it
season.
down for us?
Yeah, so we do a lot of explosive movements.
That would be for anaerobic.
Yes, anaerobic movements, hex bar deadlifts, different types of jumps and plyometrics, upper and lower body. And then also on the bikes right over there, we do a lot of conditioning, which would be more the aerobic system.
As a hockey player, you have to be strong all over, but is it just really the power in the legs type of thing? Or
Power in the legs, strong core, and even upper body too, keeping guys off of you and checking them into the boards.
You can't be too thin, otherwise things will crack, right?
Yeah, got to have some size, but also got to be mobile and quick as well. That's one thing we're pretty quick
Along
and
with,
fast.
the physical, what about nutrition?
Yeah, so nutrition, that's a huge part. This year we're trying to kind of not overhaul, but just make it a priority for the team. So that's things like protein shakes after the games, when there's travel's very tough in this league, so it's trying to supplement things like cherry juice after games to kind of jumpstart the recovery and help with sleep, and then even just like timing pre-workouts and carbs and things like that. So
I mean, they're that specific. Do you tell them in the morning, I want you to eat this much carb or this much protein? Or
not down to the
Yeah.
grams that they're eating, but we try to time the meals correctly. If it's a pre-game meal, post-game meal.
So when are they allowed to have burger and fries?
Maybe when we have an off day the next day. we do some pizzas every now and then, but we try to do that when we're not playing the next day.
What are some of the common injuries that you try to prevent?
There's a lot. Groins and hips are pretty.
Hip flexors?
Yep, hip flexors, groins. So we try to, like I mentioned, keep them strong, and that's one of the reasons why we, try to keep them in the weight room throughout the season. Because if they start to lose strength, then that's when an injury can occur.
You tell our viewers about being an athlete and what it takes to be an athlete at this level. Can you just share a little bit of that?
It's a full-time job, even when they, it's 1:45 and all the players are out of here, but that doesn't mean that their job's over. They gotta go home and be smart and recover. So it's more than a full-time job. It's 24/7 for them. If they're not in here working out or practicing on the ice, they're at home recovering.
Well, thank you so much, Emma.
Yes.
I really appreciate your time. And so this is part of it too, the day in the life of being a hockey player, and also what it is like to have a hockey team, own a team. So,
Yes.
along with fitness and nutrition, we also need the athletic trainer. This is Hunter Robinson. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
This is his office, and if you can see, there's all kinds, there's tables and sort kind of medical things that can help our athletes when they get injured, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, it's just a fact of playing professional hockey. There's going to be injuries along the way.
So what is the most common that you have come to you?
Just like maintenance type stuff, we get a lot of bruising, contusions and stuff, just like when they get cross-checked, somebody might have a contusion on their arm. As for like actual injuries, like groin strains are pretty common. Get a lot of just wrists, sprains and stuff. So we try to keep that managed through the season and keep them healthy. And
Do you do a lot of taping before they play? Are they pretty healthy?
They're pretty healthy. I only really tape if they kind of request it and they think it will help their stability, and some, like, especially for the wrist, if they like the compression of that. I actually don't do a ton of taping if I can help it. Yeah.
That's one thing I remember at PNC in athletic training, and we taped everything, the ankles, so they don't need their ankles taped either.
No, it's not like football where a lot of the football players get their ankles taped for the support. Their skates actually protect their ankle pretty well, so we don't have to do a whole lot of ankle taping unless they do suffer an injury, and then I'll do that for a little extra support.
Right, well, let's take a walk back this way for a second. So, you know, Hunter, we're talking about the tables and how you could treat them, but this is interesting, this little white container, right?
Yeah, so this is a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Basically what it does is it fills with 100% oxygen, and then it is pressurized. So we zip them up in there, and then it fills with oxygen, it's pressurized, and it's supposed to stimulate the mitochondria in the cell, which is like the powerhouse, the power system of the cell, help with healing. There's very good research that it helps with concussion recovery. So we like to get them in there if that were the case and they were recovering from a concussion. But there's also some performance benefits that they could get as well. It's supposed to help with sleep and just general overall feeling better in recovery.
And how many of the guys go into the ice baths?
I don't know.
Or no, those are not ice baths.
I was going to say ice bath and a hot heat bath. So a lot of them do contrast where they'll get in one for like 3 minutes, the next one for 3 minutes, going back and forth. A lot of them do it. I don't know exactly the number, but quite a bit of them do that. Yep.
To help prevent. Well, anything else we can share with our viewers?
Yeah, and then we also have this portable x-ray machine, which is very nice for us. It's not very common to have in the league. But luckily I work for Optum Orthopedics, and one of our physicians actually invented this. So it's very handy to have right off the ice. Let's say somebody gets hurt, a puck goes to their foot or their hand or something, and we're worried about a potential fracture. If you want to put your hand there.
Sure. Let me see.
Oh, if it wants to, there we go. Get there and quick.
Oh my
quick
gosh.
X-ray.
Do I look okay?
Yeah.
What does that mean,
good.
I wonder? But anyway, we'll get into that another time. But
there's like your rings and then.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Everybody needs one of these. This is a state of the art, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. That way we don't have to send them to the ER or the
and
hospital.
You can do a neck, you can anything, any part of the body.
We keep it to like the extremities just because it's good for like quick, but like for some of the deeper stuff, we need like a more high-powered thing. But for ankles, wrists, hands, feet, this is very, very good to have.
Well, very cool. I love it. This is so interesting. Well, I want to thank you for bringing us into your office.
Absolutely.
All right, and we'll be back tomorrow for game day.
All right, with a win, hopefully.
Well, I've always wanted to sit on a throne, and I even have my cannons. Well, everybody, it's a wrap. We want to thank the Ghost Pirates hockey team for a wonderful hospitality. We got to meet so many wonderful people and how this whole team works, the back house, the front house, the players, and the coaches. But I also want to mention we're going to be back tomorrow night and create another episode of Closer with Kathryn because it's game night, and we're going to have a whole bunch of people to talk to, the fans. In fact, they're inviting pets to come to the game dressed up in Halloween outfits. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun too. All right, so we'll see you next time.